super excited for tonight. Just wanted to say welcome and thank you for being here. Today's training is all on gut health. This is gut health 101. So before we dive in, I want to ask everyone a quick question. How many of you have ever felt bloated, sluggish, or just not like right in your digestion? I want you to comment me in comments below if that sounds like you. Okay. So maybe you've struggled with stubborn weight, low energy, or cravings that just like will not go away, right? If that's you, type that's me in the chat. Oh yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me. Seeing a lot of that popping up. Awesome. Well, for one, girls, you are definitely not alone. So many women experience gut-related issues without even realizing that their gut is actually the root cause. And so what we're going to be covering today, and like breaking down for you is why gut health is so important for digestion, for your metabolism, for energy, and even fat loss. We're going to break down like what's actually causing the bloating, the inflammation, and the sluggish digestion. And then we're going to give you some simple steps so that you can start healing your gut naturally, and also how to track the progress so that you know that your gut health is actually improving, that we're going the right direction with this. So at the end, I'm also going to invite you to take my free metabolic assessment, which is actually going to tell you if your body's ready to go into fat loss or if your gut health needs to be your first focus. Sound good? Awesome. Let's dive in. Okay. So, if you're new here, I'm Coach Chelsea Ray. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach, and I specialize in helping women over 40 to just feel their absolute best without crash diets, without extreme workouts, or quick fix gimmicks. Because let's be real, we have all tried a lot of those, right? And they never last. They may work for a little while, but they never last like long term, right? So instead, I help women work with their metabolism, not against it, so they can build strength, lose fat, and actually feel good in their bodies again. And one of the biggest missing pieces is gut health. And I know this firsthand because I used to run on stress and caffeine and whatever food was like quick and easy, and my digestion was a freaking mess, like really bad. I had no energy. I was puffy and bloated all the time. And it wasn't until I started like really focusing on like what my body needed, like I started balancing my blood sugar, cutting back on processed foods and junk, and really supporting my gut. And that's when everything changed for me in my life. And that's also why I'm so passionate about this, because I know how life-changing it can be when your gut is working for you and not against you, and you're not fighting it day in and day out all the time. So, let's jump in. So let's talk about why your gut health matters so much, okay? So most people think gut health is just about digestion, but it actually impacts almost every single system in your body. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria, both good and bad, that influence everything from your digestion to immune function and even your mood. Over 70% of your immune system is housed in the gut. And when it's off, you're more likely to feel sick, feel run down, or struggle with inflammation. Your gut and your brain are directly connected through the vagus nerve. Okay, so if your gut is inflamed, it can send distress signals to your brain, and it causes things like brain fog, really crazy mood swings, and even anxiety and depression. I know, right? Crazy. So if your gut is struggling, your body isn't producing fat or isn't prioritizing fat loss. It's prioritizing survival. How many of us feel like they're in survival mode for what? Well, it's probably connected to what's going on in our gut. And this is why poor gut health makes fat loss so much harder, is your body isn't focusing on burning fat. It's focusing on fighting the inflammation in your body and trying to regulate the digestive distress that it's currently under. So next, I want to talk about what causes these gut issues. Okay, causing the bloating, causing the inflammation, and the sluggish digestion. So number one, first and foremost, is processed foods and inflammatory oils. The biggest disruptor is processed foods with artificial ingredients. Okay, so these foods contain preservatives, chemicals, and low quality oils that actually disrupt your digestion and cause that bloating. Okay, things like seed oils, think canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, and palm oil. They are especially damaging because they're highly processed and cause gut inflammation. So I want to know, like, how many of you check the ingredient labels before you actually buy something? So number two is gluten and dairy sensitivity. So some people process these foods just fine. I want to preface with that, okay? But there's a lot of women over 40, especially, that develop sensitivities as their gut health declines. And so things like, let's talk about gluten, right? So gluten's found in like bread, pasta, processed grains, and it can trigger bloating and digestive discomfort. Dairy is also another one. So think milk, cheese, yogurt. It can be a common culprit. So lactose intolerance actually increases with age because our bodies produce less lactase, which is the enzyme that breaks down lactose. So as we get older, it just doesn't digest things quite the same anymore. Not for everybody, but for a good majority of us. So the key here is to just try. Again, we never want to force anything or say you have to cut this out, but try cutting back for 2 or 3 weeks on the gluten and on the dairy and see just like, do you notice a difference? Yay or nay? Either way, like it's just kind of an experiment to see like how does your body respond to both gluten and dairy? And by cutting it out for just a short time, you'll be able to kind of pinpoint what that looks like. The third one is artificial sweeteners and sugar. So sugar feeds bad gut bacteria, leading to bloating, increased cravings. Artificial sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame, they disrupt the gut bacteria balance. So anybody else here struggle with sugar cravings? Comment sugar in the comments below. Again, no judgment. It happens, right? So, but that sugar could be feeding the bad bacteria, overgrowth, a lot of like, it just kind of snowballs in the wrong direction. The fourth thing is low fiber intake. And I'm going to drop a statistic with you ladies that is absolutely freaking shocking to me. Did you know that only 5% of women, 5% of people in the United States eat enough fiber? 5% are hitting their fiber intake on a daily basis. That's just wild to me. And fiber is so essential for feeding the good gut bacteria, for keeping digestion moving, and for reducing bloating. And to have like 5% of all Americans eating enough fiber is just shocking to me. So let's change that, huh? Now that we know what causes it, let's get into how do we fix it, right? Like all right, we got the problem, but let's figure out how we can fix this problem, right? So step one is to eat whole, nutrient-dense foods 80 to 85% of the time, right? Have you heard of the 80-20 split? Yes, no? Okay. So most of the time, we want to eat whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, least processed as possible, okay? Step two is to reduce, not eliminate, reduce your dairy and gluten if they bother you. And do it as an experiment just to see how your body responds. Step three is to cut out added sugar. And this is where reading your labels is going to come in really, 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 really important. Sugar is snuck in and added to so many more things than we think. Read your labels. Try to cut out as much added sugar as possible. Step 4 is to increase that fiber. And step 5 is to hydrate like it's your day job, girlfriend. Do not be a dehydrated bitch. Okay? We could all use a little bit more water, am I right? Yeah. So, which one of these do you think you need to work on the most? I'd love to hear it. Like, is it eating whole foods? Is it reducing dairy and gluten? Is it cutting out the sugar? Is it increasing your fiber? Is it drinking your fucking water? Extra bonus, okay, that you can add into these steps. Legs up the wall and breath work for digestion. Incredible, free. You can do it anywhere. Like, you got to check that out. It is incredible. The short amount of time, 5 to 10 minutes, and the benefits that you get out of that is just incredible for your digestion, lowering your cortisol levels, all those things. So, it improves your circulation, it supports digestion, it reduces bloating. You can combine it with like box breathing, where you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and hold for 4 seconds. Great way to calm your stress and improve your gut health. So, if you have not tried that, if you yet, try it this week, okay? It is like this, it's like the secret, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the magic pill. Like, you guys want that quick fix? Put your legs up the wall and breathe for 5 minutes, and I promise you, your day is going to go 110% better for sure. So, well, next I want to talk about signs that your gut health is actually improving, right? So how do we even like judge with, okay, I'm doing this, I'm making these changes, but how do I know that I'm actually like making a difference in my gut health, right? So you're going to know by experiencing, for one, less bloating, more regular digestion. So 1 to 2 bowel movements a day is normal. It's good. We should be pooping every day. If we're not, something is off, okay? You're going to experience increased energy, reduced cravings, less puffiness. So these small changes really start to add up. So as always, I always emphasize, like, do not stress about being perfect. Take imperfect action. Do something every single day that moves the needle forward just a little bit more, right? And it can be as simple as, just like I said, starting to pay attention more to your labels and seeing where the extra sugar is being snuck in and making some tweaks to have something that has either no added sugar or a little less added sugar, right? Experimenting to see, like, does gluten and dairy really affect me? I'm going to take it out for a little while and then slowly reintroduce these things in to see if my gut responds in a positive or negative way. So just know that like healing your gut really does take some time, but every step in the right direction really does matter. Okay. And if you have any questions about this, please reach out anytime. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, and just make sure that this is really clear on your journey to healing your gut and kind of getting your metabolism in a better place so that you can reach your health and fitness goals, right? So, and if you want to know how, like, if you want to know if your metabolism is actually ready for fat loss, okay, I want you to take my free metabolic assessment. Okay, this is going to show you where you stand, where your metabolism is at, and we're going to be able to kind of gauge where you need to go next. Like I said in the beginning of this, like, do we need to focus more on healing your gut before we actually put you in a fat loss phase? Or do you need to work on your stress management or your sleep? So this assessment just gives us a little bit more insight of what's happening with you internally, and if your metabolism is ready to lose fat, to put on muscle. A lot of times it's not, and we have to prime it to get there. So this assessment it's totally free. A couple questions to go through. Once I get your answers, I'll set up a time to hop on a phone call with you. We'll go over the whole thing and kind of some next steps of what's going to help you to move that needle forward in a way that's working with your body. So thank you for joining me today. I can't wait to hear what you're going to work on in order to improve your gut. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Here to answer any and all questions that you have. Just here to help educate you and hope this brought a little bit more clarity to you around gut health and digestion. Hope you guys have the most wonderful evening. Make it a great rest of your week.